Time Warner Cable News New York 1, all morning.
Thanks for joining us on our trip to New York 1. Our reporters today are the students of J4Q.
9/11 was a horrible disaster. A lot of policemen and firemen died. Many others got injured. Those that were injured were given money by the city because they could no longer work. It was recently found out that some of the policemen and firemen lied about getting hurt in the line of duty.
Retired New York City firefighters and police officers came up with the idea to pretend to be sick so that they could collect Social Security benefits. They said they were too sick to work, but their Facebook pages showed them fishing, riding motorcycles, driving water scooters, and even playing basketball. 72 police officers and 8 firefighters were accused of fraud.
Michael Schumacher, the Formula One race car legend, is in critical condition fighting for his life after being injured on Sunday, December 29th. Michael fell during a skiing trip and accidentally hit a rock. Doctors say that if he had not had on a helmet, he would have died.
Bloomingdale's is supporting the NFL in Super Bowl 48 by designing special football helmets. These helmets will be then sold at an auction for a minimum of $210 each. The money raised from the auction will then be donated to the NFL Foundation.
LeBron James continues to play well for the Miami Heat. He shot 13 of 22 from the field for 32 points last Tuesday against the Pelicans. On Sunday, he helped the Heat have a huge fourth quarter in their defeat over the Raptors.
Lindsey Vonn, a downhill champion in skiing, injured her knee while training for the season's opening World Cup downhill at Beaver Creek. She's leaving the World Cup for surgery and is expected to make a full recovery in time for the 2014-15 World Cup season and the 2015 World Championships.
Eusebio, who represented the best of soccer in Portugal, passed away. Soccer fans called him the Black Panther. He was from Mozambique, but played professional soccer for Portugal. He was the most captivating player of the 1966 World Cup. He would have turned 72 on January 25th. He unfortunately died at the age of 71 with a great heart and a very lovely soul.
Americans in 24 states from the Midwest to the Northeast have recently dealt with the distorted polar vortex. This vortex is a circulation of strong winds in the counterclockwise direction at the North Pole. It keeps the cold air locked in the Arctic regions of the north and allows for extremely cold temperatures and blizzards.
This bone-chilling drop in temperature has its biggest impact on the airlines in the Northeast and Midwest. The polar weather caused 440 flights to be canceled. JetBlue Airlines even canceled an entire day of flights.
A plane landing at JFK Airport coming from Toronto, Canada, slid off the runway into the snow at 8 a.m. last Sunday morning. There was no report of any injuries, and the plane was later towed to the gate with the passengers still on board. Some passengers complained of the terrible cold that was on board the plane.
Although some may think that the polar vortex is proof that global warming has yet to take action, scientists might not be so enthusiastic. In fact, it may be signs of it beginning, with the worst of it yet to come. These unusual downdrafts of Arctic air are showing up all over the world.
Robert Vick of Hartford escaped from prison during the recent cold weather. He was dressed in prison-issue khaki pants, a shirt, and a light jacket when he escaped, and he was not ready for the Arctic weather. It was so cold that the prisoner asked someone to call the police so he could return to jail.
On New Year's Day, a group of people in Brighton Beach, Brooklyn, went in the 41-degree ocean water. 10 of the people were over the age of 70, 4 were over 80, and 1 was even older than 90 years old. They did this as a fundraiser to raise money for sick children.
For people who have been enjoying this weather, they may want to travel to Antarctica, a place that is normally this cold. It is the emptiest and windiest place on Earth. 120 years ago, the first person set foot on this continent. Tourists visiting Antarctica get to see whales, seals, penguins, and an amazing icy landscape.
NASA has studied the International Space Station and determined that it can last until the year 2028, not 2020, as they originally thought. It always seemed unlikely that the space station, which was built at a cost of $100 billion and was completed just 3 years ago, would come to an end so quickly. NASA is now working on their space taxi project
to take astronauts to the station starting in 2017.
The University of Berkeley's labs have developed robot muscles that are 1,000 times stronger than human muscles. The same kind of robotic muscles have also been developed by the National University of Singapore. While both labs' muscles are strong, Singapore's muscles can also produce energy so that the robots can be self-powered after a short time. This discovery will power future robotic limbs, leading to a line of energy-efficient electronics.
Did you know that piranhas are not as dangerous as you think, and that dog bites cause more harm in the U.S. each year than piranhas? In Argentina, the week after Christmas, there was a piranha attack. Although many news agencies stated that it was a feeding frenzy, the 70 beachgoers affected suffered mostly scrapes and bruises, although one person did lose a finger.
Gabby Giffords, a former U.S. representative, was shot in the head 3 years ago. She had to learn to walk and talk all over again. Recently, to celebrate her wonderful recovery, she went skydiving. Everyone thought it was amazingly brave of her.
John Aldridge was alone on the deck of a lobster fishing boat when he fell into the icy cold water. He was in the ocean for approximately 2 nights and 1 day fighting to survive. When his fellow fishermen woke up, they immediately started searching for him. The Coast Guard joined the search and using their helicopters were able to locate and save Mr. Aldridge. He had survived by using his green rubber boots as a float.
A train carrying oil exploded on December 30th near Castleton, North Dakota, after derailing and colliding with another train. The accident killed many people, and according to City Councilman Roger Garant, the downtown vanished. The cleanup costs alone may hit $200 million.
It was announced on Saturday that the halftime show for this year's Super Bowl will be performed by both Bruno Mars and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. The audition for the Chili Peppers was a surprise, and not many details have been announced. Super Bowl 48 will take place on Sunday, February 2nd at the MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Thank you, New York One!
Yeah, go for it. And then we can try, here, step over this way, and then see if you can point to the